It's usually at about this point in the year when we start making resolutions for the new year. And towards the end of December and the beginning of Jan, all of us are motivated to take on new resolutions in regards to our health and our lifestyle. But we're going to do things a little differently this year because we all know that resolutions tend to fail for most people by the time we reach the end of Jan. So all that initial motivation tends to fade away. So we're going to work on a different project this year. We call it Reset 2018, the Health Project, and we want everyone to be a part of this because this doesn't involve money. This doesn't involve too much of time. All it involves is one of the most powerful drugs on this planet, lifestyle. Simple and inexpensive lifestyle changes that all of us can make every single day to prevent illness, to help us heal ailments, to probably cure, to improve our physical health, to improve our mental health and our emotional health as well. So why reset? Why reset? Because each and every one of us have built into us this little reset button. And every morning when we wake up, we have that gift of life, the gift of a new day. And we have the possibility, we have a choice to hit that reset button in any aspect of our life. It could be relationships, it could be our health, it could be our finances, it could be the way we want to be, the way we want to the way we want to contribute to the world. We have that reset button. All we need to do is wake up and hit it. But then when we have that reset button, what stops us from hitting it every single day? It's called the journey of life. We wake up and we throw ourselves into living every single day. We get so caught up in the chaos of life. We get so caught up in the chaos of routine and things like our job, our family, raising kids, doing our work, that we forget about ourselves. We forget about really putting ourselves first, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally as well, and actually living life. So every morning when we wake up in 2018, we have to remember that we have that button. Now, we may hit that reset button and fail many, many times, but that's okay. When you wake up, like I said, it's the gift of life. You still have the possibility to hit that reset button. Even if you failed 100 times, you can still wake up and hit that reset button. So what does the whole Reset 2018 Health Project focus on? Now, this is not something that's just going to run for 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 weeks. It's going to run throughout the entire of 2018. Because you see, making change, evolving and growing is not a weekly or a monthly project. It takes time. And all of us are built of 5 selves. We have our emotional self, we have our mental self, we have our physical self, we have our intellectual self, and we have our spiritual self. Everyone has this. And if we grow in each of these 5 selves a little bit every day, that's how we evolve as human beings. That's how we have well-being. Otherwise, we're constantly struggling to lose weight, to prevent disease. We have pollution around us. We have contamination in food. We have stressful lives and stressful jobs. I mean, it's all around us. But that inner peace can only come. That's why it's called inner peace. It can only come from within you when you look inside. So we're going to focus on life as a whole. We're going to focus on you and I as a whole, taking in mind that we have emotions, taking into account that we have emotions, we have feelings, we have foods that we enjoy and foods that we want to eat, considering that we'll have days that we cannot work out, we'll have days that we cannot get 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep. All of that is life. We can't have a perfect life. You see, nothing is perfect, not even nature. Human beings are not perfect, nature's not perfect. But inside of us, we have something called balance. And that's been lost over the years of living. That's covered by layers and layers, which we slowly have to peel. And underneath that, we'll find automatic balance. That's when we stop chasing things that don't matter anymore. That's when we stop focusing on things that don't matter anymore. And that's when life becomes simple. What we're going to focus on in the Reset 2018 program is also something called simplifying our lives, simplicity. You see, when we simplify our lives, we get clarity and the freedom from unnecessary effort, from unnecessary doings. That makes life a lot more simpler and allows us to actually be and live in the present moment. And that's what living is all about. So we're going to focus on balanced nutrition. The foods that you're supposed to eat, the foods that you should stay far away from, the foods that we're fooled into and made to believe to eat that make us sicker and sicker. We're going to look at exercise because everyone's body is different. Some people may be able to do squats, some people may not be able to do it. Some people may be able to run and that running helps them lose weight. Some people run and they put on more weight because every body is different, and we need to understand that as we hit 2018, that each of us are unique individuals. We're different. You cannot compare your diet and your exercise program or your lifestyle with the person sitting at the side of you or the person that you see across the television screen or in the movies or in the magazine cutouts, because everyone is different. We do thousands and thousands of diet plans every year. And I can tell you one thing, that not one client or person has the same diet plan as someone else, because everyone is different. So we need to enter 2018 respecting the fact that we're individuals. We have our own minds, we have our own hearts, our own set of feelings, and our own common sense, which we need to apply to our lives. We can look around, but we don't have to imitate all the time, because when we start imitating, we do things without reasoning and logic, and that's when we fail. That's when willpower has a shelf life and we break away from our resolutions and habits. We're going to focus on things like your values. We're going to focus on things like your goals, on your definition of success, because you cannot achieve anything in life, especially your health goals. Everyone thinks that, oh, I have a health goal to lose weight. I have a health goal to run a marathon. That's all great. Some people achieve it, some people don't. Because you see, it's not just about goal setting like we're all taught. It's also about your values. What are your values? When I talk about values, what are your top 3 or your top 5 values? Values are things that mean everything to you. They are things that are important to you, your ideals and beliefs about life yourself. So examples of some values are, my top 3 values, for example, is my physical and mental health. My second value would be family time and spending time with my loved ones and making sure they're happy. And my third value could be maybe economic security. So I focus on the things that I enjoy doing that form economic streams and economic sources for me. So these are 3 values, and I also have other values like punctuality and so many different things. But once you know your 3 values, then you look at your goals, because if your goals are not based on your values, you never really achieve your goals. So you have your values in place, and these are things that we're going to start from tomorrow, building these little lifestyle changes, because you see, health, we all know what to eat. We know what we shouldn't be eating. We know the sugars that make us fat. We know the foods that make us unhealthy. We know that we should exercise every day. We know we should sleep 7 to 8 hours every day. We all know that stress is the root cause of most diseases. So if we all know all of these things, why are we still sick? Why are we still fat? Why are we still suffering? Because we lack discipline, because we lack motivation, and we lack passion. Which is why just having a goal is useless unless it's backed and tied in with the values that you have, and in turn tied in with your definition of success. So if I had to ask each and every one of you, what's your definition of success? You would take time to think about it. Many people would say, oh, it's financial success. I have a goal. I want to be promoted to a general manager. I want to have X, Y, Z. These are all milestones. This is not your definition of success, because you can succeed at becoming the CEO of a company, but you could be a very sick CEO spending most of your money on your health issues, or you could be having relationship issues and family issues and all of these things. So we're going to do these kind of exercises over the next few weeks first, for everyone to realize what is important to them in this life. Most people don't even know who they are or why they do what they do. And it's important for us to know this and tie this into well-being. Because health is not just a physical thing, it's an emotional thing, it's a mental thing, it's a spiritual thing, it's an intellectual thing. So we want to grow in all of these aspects throughout 2018, and then I can promise you, things like disease, things like the inability to lose weight becomes easier and easier. Because right now people are just chasing at those, at the number they want to see on the weighing scale every morning. People are just chasing these fat exercise programs and diet programs, thinking that they'll lose 3 kilos and keep it off and that they'll be happier people. But it never works. In my entire career, I have never seen a person reach their weight loss goal and then say, hey, I'm happy. I lost so much of weight. Then there's something else. I'm not toned enough. My skin color is too dark, and it goes on and on. That's because we have the wrong goals. We look at life with a very shallow attitude. And we're going to change that, because we have the ability to reset even the way that we think. So over the next few days, this is to just give you an insight of what's going to happen on the Health Project Reset 2018. We're going to focus on prevention, because prevention is the best drug. You may have the best health insurance, you may have the best access to hospitals, you may have the best influence and contacts with doctors, nutritionists, you name it. It doesn't matter, because you're still going to have to suffer if you get sick. And once you're in that vicious circle of treatment, you never get out of it. So there will be some of us who fall sick. And that's okay. We'll handle it at that point. But prevention, if we're not sick right now, we should be focusing on prevention for ourselves, for our parents, and for our children. We're going to be focusing a lot on kids' health, on children's health. That's close to my heart, because they're our future generation. And we don't want a sick younger generation becoming our next generation. And forget about that. We don't want to have to see them suffer the way our generation has gone through suffering of sickness. So yes, we're going to focus on prevention. We're going to focus on kids' health. We're going to focus on achieving happiness and peace. Again, you can't achieve happiness and peace just like that. It's going to happen when you grow in all of these aspects, your emotional, mental, intellectual, spiritual, and your physical self. You see, you can be meditating for 45 days, you can be meditating for 30 days, you could be doing 10 days of Vipassana, 14 days of Vipassana, 50 days of Vipassana, and coming out unhappy. You can be coming out, still empty. And you could be in the gym pumping your body and building good muscles and great bodies and having this great physical look. And you could be so empty in your heart and your head as well. You see, you got to tie it in together. You cannot take the mind out of the equation of healing or building a great body. It's tied in. And the sooner we realize this, the healthier we're going to be, the happier we're going to be. You can't be happy if you're sick and you're unhealthy all the time. So that's what we're going to focus on. So starting from tomorrow, we're not going to talk about health anymore today. Have a great time with your families. Spend a lot of time with your loved ones. Be safe. Drink sensibly and responsibly. You don't want to meet with accidents. You don't want to cause problems on the last day of this year or even next year. We want to start looking at our life with this attitude of balance, with the attitude of gratitude. We're going to start looking at small things that add up to the whole picture of a happy, holistic, a happy and holistic self. And that's the definition of well-being. It's everything together, not just a great mind, not just a great body. It's how we feel at the end of the day. The definition of success is, how do I feel at this moment in my life? Am I empty? Am I happy? You may be happy right now, you may be unhappy right now. But through the days, how do you feel at the end of the week, at the end of the day, when you close your eyes to sleep every night? These things add up, these little things add up to define who you are and how you feel inside. Have a great New Year, everyone. Until next time, it's been a great 2017 for all of us. I hope it's been great for you. Until next time, until next year, eat smart, move more, sleep right, and breathe deep. And you may want to start thinking about your top 3 or top 5 values that mean everything to you, because that's going to be our next video. Your top 3 to 5 values that define you. Values mean anything that means a lot to you, that means the world to you. Your ideals, your beliefs. Those are your values. When you know your values, that's when we'll start learning to define what your success is, your definition of success, and then set those goals for 2018. Have a great evening. You may be partying, you may be drinking. Remember, eat, but don't overeat. Drink, but don't overdrink. Sleep, but don't oversleep or undersleep as well. And think, but don't overthink and don't underthink as well. Have a great evening, everyone. Happy New Year.